Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Carson City Library Programs for Beginners class. This is the Microsoft Excel version. I'll be showing you the basics for this class, and then we also have a guest speaker. I have Menon, who is a library clerk here at the library, and she's going to be asking us some questions, and hopefully she learns new things in the process. Want to say hi, Menon?
Hi, everyone.
Yeah. Menon, before we begin, what's your experience with Microsoft Excel?
I would say I use Excel to make graphs with pretty basic data, but I'm still pretty much a beginner, so I'm looking forward to learning some new things.
Awesome. Right now, what you're seeing is Microsoft Excel for the Mac computer. So the Windows version looks a little bit different, but it has all the same features. I'm also showing you the personal subscription. So Microsoft and a lot of new products online have gone to a subscription-based model, meaning you're going to pay monthly or annually to access their product. So back in the day, we had to buy a CD and then we owned that program because we had the CD, we had the disc. But right now, everything is online. So this is the subscription-based model here. So I have an account. You can see my name here. And I pay annually. And one of the benefits of having a subscription is that you can use this across multiple devices. So you can use this on your phone, your tablet, your computer, multiple computers. And you can also share this account with family members. So the downside, though, is that it's kind of pricey. So the library has Microsoft Office products in the computer lab upstairs. Once the library is open, you guys can use Microsoft Office. But let's dive into how to use Excel for beginners. Right now, I'm in the home section, and in the home section, you can see the most recent files. You can see files that you've pinned, meaning you've bookmarked or favorited. And then you can see files that have been shared with me. I don't have anything shared with me. And then up top here are these templates. But right now, I'm just going to show you how to use Excel with a blank workbook. And here is the blank workbook. And we're going to learn about the ribbon. The ribbon here is the top part of the workbook. And you can have all these different features. So right now we're in the home ribbon. And if I click on it, it's going to hide the ribbon, but we want to unclick it and you can see all these things you can do. So you can there's lots of things in the insert ribbon, the draw ribbon, page layout, formulas, data, review, and view. And I want to show you the tell me feature first. If you don't know what you're doing, you can type in here what you want to do. So every Microsoft Office feature has a very useful help feature. If you don't know what to do, you can always type in the help feature, or in this case, the tell me feature. This only works though if you have internet access. So make sure you're connected to Wi-Fi. So let's go back to the first home ribbon. And this is where a lot of your formatting is going to happen. But right now, let's just enter some data. So if you're entering data in this square, its label is A1, and it's not a square or a rectangle, this is actually a cell. So if you're gonna type something here, I'm gonna type in hello, you just enter data into cell A1. If I click here, I'm now in cell A4, and you can look here at the header, and you can look here at the column header, and then you can look here at the row header. And this box here also tells you what cell you're located in. This is called the name box. So you can also type in here where you want to enter data in. So say you don't know where Z5 or Z50 or let's say Z100, because it didn't show up. But now if you type that in, Z100 is highlighted for you. So this is very helpful when you have lots of data. So this feature is called the name box. But I'm going to scroll up and go back to A1 so I can do that with my mouse because I know where it is, or I could have typed in A1 and it would have taken me there. Okay. So that's the simple process of just entering data. If I wanted to change how this data looks, you would stay in the home ribbon and change formatting of it. So if I wanted to make hello into a blue hello, it turned blue. So make sure I'm highlighted the cell where I want to change the formatting, the data. So if I clicked on D6 and there's no data, it's not going to change into anything until I type something in. So it is blue now. Okay, so there's lots of other formatting options on here. This icon is increase font size. And if you don't know what icons are, you can always move your mouse and hover over it, and it will tell you what that icon means. The reason why certain things are icons and certain things are written out is because if you had everything written out in words, this would be a bigger ribbon and it would take up too much space. But some of these icons are standard throughout the Microsoft Office products, and you might see some of these icons in your email or other things where you would need to write or format. Okay. Another formatting feature, since we are in a spreadsheet, we kind of want borders. So this is the border icon, and right now it's defaulted to the bottom border. So whatever I selected, it shows up this bottom border here. But if I wanted to make borders for the whole entire section here where I highlighted all borders, I clicked on this arrow and then I'm going to go to all borders. Okay. So I'm going to delete the text in here, and let's pretend we're working on a budget spreadsheet. So one of the reasons why you would use Microsoft Excel is to make spreadsheets. You're working with a lot of data. So I'm going to do utilities, and right now it's still in blue font because I hadn't changed it. I'm going to do power, gas, internet, cable, and then I'm going to do January. And the next months would be, back in the day, you would have to type out everything. So you'd have to type out January, February, March, April, May. But Excel is so smart that if I clicked here and go to the bottom right corner of the cell, clicked and drag it to the right, it knows what I want. It knows that I want the months of the year. So I'm gonna show you again how I did that. Go to the bottom right corner of the cell until you see this plus sign, and then with your mouse, click and drag. Okay. And then I paid $50 for power in February, and then I got some more, then I spent more, or then I used more power. And then again, Excel is really smart. Say I'm spending power in $25 increments, then it knows what I'm looking for. So I don't have to type all that. I don't have to type if this is the case. Usually power is more expensive here in Carson. And then also, because this is money, here in this part of the ribbon, this section is formatting the data. So right now, since I'm working with money, I can just click on this $ and it will change this data to add the $ and cents. If I don't want the cents, I can use these options. So this one is reducing the cents, and this one's adding the cents.
So Vanna, I have a question.
Sure.
So can you continue a sequence for numerical dates, or is that only if you're doing months or days of the week or something with words?
Excel has totally upped their game. They have increased their sequencing. So yes, Menon, this is perfect. This is called sequencing or continue a sequence. And yes, you can do dates. So if I wanted, so right now, if I typed in 1/1, Excel automatically changed it to 1 January. So that's its standard date formatting, but we can change that. So if I go to custom, I can change it to short date, or I can change it to long date. So if I go down, it will continue the sequence. And did you see this number sign? So this happens when the cell is too small. So I'm increasing the width of the cell, and that way you can see everything. Now, Menon, did that answer your question, or is there more? There's a lot more to sequencing, right?
Yes, that did answer my question because I wanted to see if you could do if it could do like numerical dates for you as well, which is it is doing, and then you can just change that to be just the number format too, like right, like 01/01/2020, and then go down from there.
Correct. Yes. So that would be the short date option. Say, and it also just works with numbers. Now, what happened here? Why did it not go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? So with numbers, it's a little bit different. I don't know why it does this, but it just does. So if you wanted to continue a sequence, you just want to write out 1, 2, 3, and then it'll take you to the rest. Because sometimes this feature, I guess, is also duplicating. It doesn't also just mean continuing a sequence, it could also mean duplicating. So like if I wanted to duplicate my name, it does that too. So there is no sequence for Vanna. The computer doesn't know what the next one's going to be, so it's going to duplicate. Whereas here, it just duplicated here, but if I provided the sequence, it would continue the sequence. So that was a lot of information, but it's really helpful to show this first, so that way you're not typing in things that you don't have to type in, because the computer is so smart, it's doing it for you. So I'm going to click on this button here. So this is below the name box. This here selects everything in the sheet. It highlights the whole entire sheet. So all you have to do is click on that button, and I'm just going to press delete to erase everything. Now, it deleted the information in the cells, but it didn't delete this formatting. So if I wanted to get rid of this of these borders, I can go here to this arrow and then just do no border. Okay.
Are we able to just select one column only and delete the information in that column as well?
That is correct. You can totally do that. So if I just wanted to delete A, I would have to click on the header. Okay, so if you clicked here, that's not going to work. You need to click on this, the header, the column header, and then you can press the delete button to get rid of the cell, or to get rid of the data in the cells. Or if I right clicked on the column, I can do clear contents. I can do delete, which deletes the entire column and shifts everything to the left. Same thing with the row. If I clicked on this row, I can press delete, or if I right click, I can clear contents, or if I just wanted to get rid of this row, I can just press delete.
Okay, cool. So there's multiple ways to do that.
Yes. So if I just wanted to add a column in between April and May, I'm going to right click on column E and I'm going to click on insert. So in this case, it inserted before what I wanted, but that's okay. Yeah, so inserting is before in this case. I think Google Sheets might be different, so that's why I'm getting confused. But so you can insert a column. Oh, you can also insert a row. See how I've been like undoing what I did? So say I deleted that and I magically have it appear. What I'm doing is a keyboard shortcut. Since I'm using a Mac computer right now, the keyboard shortcut to undo something in Excel is Command Z. If you're using a Windows computer, it would be Control Z. If you don't want to use the keyboard shortcut because you can't remember or it's too complicated, all the Microsoft Office products have the undo buttons here. So it's going to undo what I did last. And then say I don't like this and I want to redo my delete, I can click on this arrow. So these arrows are always going to be up here. If I clicked on this arrow to undo everything I did, it remembers everything I did. So it's come a long way. This version, this is the newest version, like I said, they didn't have this option. In the older version, they would have the undo button, but you couldn't see what you've done. Now, once I save the document and exit out of the document, it's not going to remember what I did. Because once I save the document, it's just going to start from that saving point. It's not going to save all this information. But we'll talk about how to save this document at the end of the video.
I have a quick question again. So if I was working with data that I no longer wanted to keep but I don't want to exactly delete it, is there a way to like strike through that data so I know not to include it in my graph or chart?
Let's say I no longer pay for the internet. I'm going to use the strike through formatting feature. It's easier to find on Microsoft Word, but it's not easily here in Excel. You can right click on the word that you want to do the strike through and format cell. We're going to go to font and there's the strike through. What we just did is a feature that's from the older versions. So if you don't know where anything is and you learned how to use Microsoft Office on the older versions, that feature is still there for the people who grew up using the Office products. Is if you right click on something, you go to format cells, and then you can change the number, alignment, font, border, fill, and protection, which we don't worry about that. All this information is here, but that strike through feature is not a common feature, so that's why they still kept it within, that's why it doesn't appear in the ribbon. Does that answer your question?
Gotcha. Yeah, it was more steps than I was expecting, but it's interesting to see all the different ways that you can actually format a cell as well.
Right. Again, I think the strike through feature is on Microsoft Word, but it's just not something that people often use in Excel.
Gotcha.
For our beginner users with computers, right-clicking on things opens up a menu that can give you more options. So if you don't know what you're looking for, you can also see if there's anything here. Okay, and that's a general rule of thumb for anything you do on the computer is when you right-click on something, usually a menu pops up. And then I could also move data around by just clicking on the cell, and make sure you have that glove icon, and I can move February to a different cell. And I don't have to move just one cell. If I select this whole column, I can move March to a different column. And since I have this column already highlighted, I can right click on this column and click on copy, and then see that moving line. I can copy this, I can paste it into another column. And until this line, so right now it's still, the computer still thinks I want to keep copying this information. So that's why I can still paste it. I'm sorry, I can still paste it because this is still selected. To unselect this, I press escape, and this section is no longer highlighted for me to keep pasting.